shift in a different store. One of the days where we had to change out all the prices.
Oh yeah.
And what they used to do is they would ship this big box with all of the cardboard to flip the prices. But every single time, there's an email sent the same day, and it's with some adjustments, right? And you're supposed to cut those out first and put those out so that you have the most accurate thing. Dude, I remember I was a few weeks out of junior T nationals, and the fucking assistant manager at the time never did that. And we literally
Oh.
did the whole fucking store. And it was one of the times where, like, no shit, bro, they sent like 50% revisions of the entire box. And I remember he
Yeah.
looked at me, he's like, all right, well, we gotta do these now. And I remember I just pulled over a bucket of protein and I sat on it and I was like, you're gonna fucking do it. Because I was so dead. I was so
Yeah.
fucking dead. And he
Yeah.
got fired. He got fired right after that for actually unrelated things. He was like having sex with some other mall worker in the back of the store, and they had cameras. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I remember I fell asleep on the toilet one time. I was like, I think that was for collegiate nationals actually.
What
Um,
month did I compete in 2013? So July, right before I met you, babe.
dude, yeah, I remember it was like collegiates. I was like a week out because we were trying to get to light heavy. I was like 203, 204, and I was like, it was like 2 days out. I remember just sitting on the toilet and like I literally was just like I vividly remember pep talking myself for a good 5 minutes, trying to get up, and I'm like, all right, you're gonna stand up now. And the next thing you know, I woke up, it was like an hour later. Just
Oh my
like,
God, did you have the door? Did you have the store locked?
yeah, bro, I was just in the toilet. Nobody checked on me. I guess my dad, I don't know where the fuck my parents thought I was just sitting there, just on the toilet,
That's funny as fuck. Wait, were
sleeping.
you the only one working?
No, no, this was at home. I
I
was
don't know why I thought you were at work. I'm
no, this was
fucking
at home.
stupid.
At work the one time I got written up in that prep too because I was locked in the bathroom and I was just eating a meal. And they were like, the manager was like, I remember this bald dude, Ed. He was like, Steve, I know you're in there eating. And I'm like shoveling tilapia and fucking asparagus on my throat. And I'm like, I'm not eating as like I can barely fucking talk normal because I'm just shoving this fucking fish and mustard down my throat. And I
Oh.
remember like I had the Tupperware. I opened the door and I shoved the Tupperware down my pants as if like he wouldn't notice. Like, that's not really you down there, buddy. And he was like, I know you were eating in there. You have mustard like on your lip. I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna front, dude. I'm 3 weeks out. I do not feel good. I'm so tired. Like, yeah, I was eating. And then
They wrote you up.
they wrote me up, yeah.
Wow. They were actually pretty cool at GNC. They were like, if you're gonna eat, just like stand by the back room door or something like that. Like put it
Yeah,
down if the
GNC
customer
didn't
walks
care when
in.
I worked there, but like Vitamin Shop, they were fucking dicks.
Yeah, fuck those
They
motherfuckers, dude.
just yeah, yeah, I got written up. I'm like, there was like a week later. I'm like, I'm 2 weeks out now. I feel even worse. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even have the energy to argue this. Just tell me where I have to sign.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably the most trouble I got in at work. And then my internship for college to actually get my bachelor's, I had to do like a 2,000 hour like internship or something. And this was right before collegiates. And for some reason the personal training I worked at, there's a hospital around here, Virtua, and they have like wellness centers, right? And they have like really nice state of the art gyms in there. So my college was affiliated with them to allow health and exercise students do like their internship like on the gym floor, right? To learn like how a gym's ran and all this shit. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Can't be that hard. I'm in prep. I'm going for a national title, like all this shit. And then I remember as soon as I started, this guy Jared, he was like the person. I don't know if he was like threatened or something, right? Because like his clients started asking me to train them, and I'm like, no, 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 I'm just an intern. Like I can't do that. So like I remember the one day he took my Diet Coke can from behind the personal training desk, he threw it out. So I went behind the desk and I was like, "Where's my Diet Coke?" He's like, "Yeah, you should not be drinking Diet Coke. That is not a good image in front of my clients." And I really wanted to be like, dude, you're like frail in bones, dude. Like, that's not a good image. You know what I mean? Like, so I remember the one time I was in the bathroom there eating because they would not give me a break because they were just started to treat me like, I guess, very differently because this guy was threatened. So I just went in the bathroom. I'm like 4 weeks out here and I'm like eating my meal. And I guess I forgot to lock the door, and like the personal training manager, this big fat dude named Teddy, walked in, and he like caught me. And then when I walked back, like he just shut the door, and I'm just sitting there eating. Like I'm not even sitting down on the toilet. I'm just sitting there eating, standing up. So I walked out, and he was like 10 minutes later, he's like, I need to see you in my office. So I walked in. I'm like, yeah, it's all good, man. I already emailed the dean for my department at school. I'm gonna ask to get transferred to a different for a different internship. Like I just can't take being mistreated here. And like he started to yell at me. And I remember I told him, like, dude, you're definitely not going to sit here and yell at me, man. Like, there's just no way you're going to try and get me in this much trouble for drinking Diet Coke and all that. So I had to go get like a different internship, all because I was drinking. This started with me drinking Diet Coke. It was crazy.
So it started with you being jacked and 2 weeks out.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So when I had a meeting, the dean for my college had to be there. Then those two guys from the internship. And then the college requested one of my parents be there. So my dad naturally was like, I'll do this. So he came with me, and my dad's like, because I didn't do anything wrong. I showed up on time. I was always punctual. I never left early, anything like that. This was when I was working as a key holder for 30 hours while in the internship and prepping full time. So I would go literally from there from 7 a.m. to 2, and then I would go from 3 to 10, and then I would go at night and train at LA Fitness until they closed at midnight. And I would work at Vitamin Shop till 9 and then close it and then go to LA Fitness and train. And this was all at 4 weeks out. And so I never did anything wrong. And I guess he was just threatened. So my dad comes with me to the meeting, and we showed up with a 6 pack of Diet Coke. And I put it on the table, and I just started drinking them all in front of them. That
that's so fucking funny.
was my dad's idea.
I'm not surprised.
So, but I saw this guy, Jared, at one of the hole in the wall gyms I used to go to. And he like looked like he shit his pants and saw a ghost when he saw me like a year later. So I walked in and I started to follow him around the gym. So every piece of equipment he went in, I just went on the one next to him. And then eventually, after like 10, 15 minutes, he went to the only treadmill against the wall where I couldn't go next to him. And I never saw him again.
That's so funny. Yeah, you switched gyms, I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, no. I just went on a story tangent, but
Yeah, I was all relating to the question about first athletes in their first prep.
yeah, this is all like I guess in our first few years, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
challenges you have to deal with, and you kind of just got to roll with the punches. And sometimes it's funny and works out for you.
Yeah, and it is something to take away from that story, and it is oftentimes as a bodybuilder, you'll find yourself in a position where somebody who's a figure of authority, whether it's your job, school, whatever, even an interaction with potentially like, again, a position of authority like a police officer, when you're fucking jacked, men in positions of authority oftentimes are very threatened, and they will treat you
Yeah,
very differently.
yeah, it's
I had an example of that, and you have to know how to manage it
yeah,
because they're typically very insecure small men.
yeah, it's
The
true.
only time I've ever had to deal with that in the corporate world, which I've been in the corporate world for 13 years, was an instance recently where I was again I work in the enterprise software industry as a salesperson. I was at a company for a while. I was a stud. I was one of the best salespeople on paper, and I got moved into a new organization, and I had been introduced and was working for this new VP who was, young guy, probably in his late 30s, early 40s, good looking guy, was hyper successful there. And I was on a team with a bunch of like B and C players. So, I really stood out amongst my peers. And I remember we had our first quarterly business review, and I had, in terms of my metrics, like activity metrics, I was like right in the middle of the scale. I actually, I hit my number that quarter. I did pretty well across the team, but he singled me out on my activity metrics, like in the meeting. And it was very clear that it was hey, I'm threatened by this guy because he's really good. He's younger than me. And like, we're in the corporate world, people get replaced pretty quickly. So there is something to take away from that. You do know how to have to manage that because you will, as a bodybuilder, you will run into that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we both pretty much just had pretty good stories about that. Um, yeah. So I would try. I think too, just like how, like you said, the better you kind of roll with it and handle it, the better off you are, right? Because it
Yeah,
just says a
you
lot
just have to
more about
realize.
the
Yeah, you have
individual.
to realize what you're dealing with, and
Yeah.
insecure men are very easily socially engineered.
Yep. You ain't wrong, man.
the consequences of being jacked and attractive. I'm kidding.
I
Completely
mean,
kidding.
granted, I was like 3, 4 weeks out then, and like, I also just didn't have the energy to argue back, but I was also like,
Oh,
just
no, but
let's
you
set.
handled it appropriately.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, exactly right. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not
Yeah.
dealing with this shit.
No, dude, because every like we're all fucking on test and men and full of androgen. Like when another man yells at you, I don't care who the fuck it is. Like your first instinct is like, oh, I fucking hate this guy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah, yeah. And
but you don't like don't fucking do it. Like handle it appropriately. You know?
when I told Johnny, he's like, I'm glad this wasn't next week when you started Halo testing.
Yeah, you know, fucking deck
Oh,
the
yeah,
facts
yeah,
guy.
yeah. Any, what else you got?
Yeah, I got one more question. Thoughts on athletes using home body fat scale to monitor weekly changes? I mean, those
Mm,
things are so inaccurate, you know.
yeah, fuck that.
The only thing, like, if you're somebody who belongs to a gym where you could use an in-body scanner there,
Yeah,
like, again, those are not accurate, but at least it's probably going to be
it,
a relatively consistent data point that you
that
could provide to your coach. You know, like,
exactly
that's something like if you have access to that and you're my client, like, send it to me. Like, you know,
right.
and especially in prep, really off
Yeah,
season, I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah,
that
for
they need.
sure. Yeah, you kind of hit on it exactly what I was gonna say. Like, I'll tell somebody, "Oh, coach, I have an in-body." I'm like, "Listen, send it to me. If you can be consistent with these like once a month or once every 8 weeks or 3 months, whatever it may be, right? Great, do it. But just know that when that thing tells you you're 8% body fat or 20, it's not accurate one way or the other, but it's a good data point to at least track consistency in terms of you moving forward or backward or whatever it may be. So yeah, you kind of hit that right on the head.
Yeah. The only accurate way to actually test body composition, and this is as of the past like
The pool.
decade, maybe, there might be like another method now that I'm not aware of, but yeah, hydrostatic weighing in the pool and DEXA scan.
Yeah. I did the pool one 4 years ago for before Junior USA.
It would be an interesting thing. Like I'm curious what I was when I did fucking Indy. Oh my God.
Oh,
I had to
crazy.
have been in the threes. Like I had to, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
With
yeah.
DEXA scan, yeah, Michelle, I don't know exactly how the machine differentiates your body composition, but it's pretty accurate. And there are on Long Island, there are places that you can get DEXA scans. I'm just not sure what the cost of something like that is.
So it's a quick, painless, low-dose X-ray test that measures bone mineral density to diagnose osteoporosis. Uh, yeah, bone, fat, and lean tissue, and body fat. Yeah. So awesome. All right, let's see.
Here we go.
All right. Um, I got
It's
I
expensive.
guess a mental health question. How do you manage a client who emotionally attaches themselves and their self-worth to their weekly check-ins? For example, I'm a client and I'm trying to work on this where if the scale goes up, I allow it to ruin my entire day. Pretty good question
Yeah,
because
no,
we've
it's a great question.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, what I would advise in this situation would detach yourself and the progress you're making from the scale. Because, if you come, well, yeah, well, if you're well, Sam is bringing up a point, don't compete, please.
Yeah.
If you're somebody like a really common thing, I'll finish answering the other question after this. The really common thing with competitors, especially first time competitors, and frankly, often with females more so than males, is once you're coming out of a show and you start reversing, and even if you're doing it properly, like you are going to gain weight. Oftentimes, those people get so hyper fixated on the fact that they're gaining weight. And, again, if you're executing properly and you're working with somebody like Steve or you're not going to get fat I mean, we're never going to get you fat, but like you're not going to see like a decent amount of body fat gain until, 4, 6 months post show, right? We're going to reverse you very slowly. But yeah, you need to going back to the original. Sorry, finishing off on this point. If you're somebody who competes year over year and this constantly like you just have a complete like crash out as the kids call it. Every time you fucking compete and you have this huge mental health issue every time you compete, you may want to question whether or not this is for you or not because it's not worth a quarter of your life being miserable post show. And let's be honest, those people are oftentimes the people that are pretty miserable during their prep as well. So that's when you got to question, hey, do I really like bodybuilding, or do I really like the pictures and stuff and the attention from it? Because those are, that's a big dopamine fucking signal when you're getting all that attention, right? So that's to kind of touch on Sam's point. Now going back to the original point, yeah, detach yourself from progress and the scale being synonymous because they're not. Let's say you take somebody who, been working out for a while, but like never ever followed a diet, never followed a structured training protocol, but has like some built up muscle tissue, right? Typically, those people, when they get on an optimized program with stevia, high protein diet, like a proper training program, the right supplementation, let's say we get your hormones fixed, like, you're gonna fucking change quick. And that is very likely going to be a recomp in the sense that you're going to build muscle tissue and you're going to lose body fat at the same time. So the scale can't tell you how many clients Steve and I have had where it's like we put a picture side by side from whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a year apart, and they're the same exact weight. And it's like a completely different fucking physique. So biggest takeaway is detach your progress from the scale.
Yep. Can't say it really any better. I mean, like you said, we've had a lot of people where hypothetically you start at 200 pounds, right? And you obviously a bit more body fat. Say we get them down 25, 30 pounds, right? And then we build them back up. And then you compare this 6, 9, 12 months later. And it's like you're within 2, 3 pounds. It's like, wow, you're 195 here or 200 and 200 here. But the difference is astronomical just because you want to go through the right periods and periodizations of proper nutrition and deficits and maintenance and surpluses the right way. So like Matt said, we really don't get anybody fat, right? And unless like you're doing that yourself, right? And binging or eating in excess quantity of what we have you eating. So um detaching yourself from the scale is absolutely critical. And over the years of coaching, I've had people where I've had to be like, hey, listen, like you stepping on the scale you're only doing a huge detriment to your own mental health right now and your own mental state. Please don't step on the scale and check your weight because I just really can do my job really based off pictures. If we really need to do that to help you mentally. And if you step on the scale, you're just doing yourself even more of a disservice. So some people listen. I'm sure some people haven't and don't. But the scale, there's so many variables that go into it. Where again, Matt and I could continue to tell somebody till we're blue in the face, like what 10 different things that could change that number every single minute of your day or every morning you wake up. But at the end of the day, like you have to detach. You have to be willing to detach yourself. I think that's the first thing.
Yeah, just trust we're experts at this,
Yeah.
legitimately. Like, if you follow the plan and you're healthy, you're gonna get progress.
Oh yeah, yeah. And yeah, if you listen and you're help, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no. What's up, Scott?
Hey Scott, what's up?
Old man cranking over
We
there.
were, we were we were just talking about you before about universe.
Yeah, yeah.
See you there.
Oh, Scott, this I give him so much credit. Hey, almost 60 years old, still fucking just can't wait to be 4%, 5% body fat. It's crazy. At fucking almost 60, me and you will probably be in wheelchairs. Right.
Yeah. Oh God. Speak for yourself, dude. I'll fucking give it up before I'm in a wheelchair.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Maybe crutches, maybe a walker. All right, that was a good question. Um,
Should have another Diet Coke right now.
I got one for it. I would throw it to you if I could. um, um, what health markers do you guys closely look at during a prep, and do you guys check lab work during a competition prep?
If it's warranted, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, and often, I mean, I have some clients where like they just get their blood work quarterly, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But anyway, the health markers, we've answered this question like so many times. It's like just going down the list. I mean, the thyroid, your fucking kidneys, your liver, your inflammation markers like C-reactive, homocysteine, your basic panel, your glucose, your insulin, fucking testosterone, estradiol, progesterone, fucking, I don't know, just go on. This list
Yep.
could keep going on.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I
But I
mean,
guess like if you're worried about like, hey, what is potentially going to be impacted during prep or whatever, I mean, thyroid is going to be biggest.
yeah, anything
Oh,
hormonally speaking.
thank you. Look at this. Sam Hurt. She's listening to the podcast. You know,
Does Sam bring you that?
yeah, best wife.
That's awesome.
Take care of her later for that. Yeah.
Don't forget, I offered first.
I'll take care of you too, bud. Don't worry.
Oh
She is the best wife, legitimately.
yeah.
Hey, Joy. Wow,
What's up, Joy? I didn't even see your comment.
been a while.
Um,
All right. So sorry. Going back to that point, what is going to be, elevated likely or out of whack as a result of what you're doing in
I said
prep with the
anything
metabolic damage
hormonally
and the
speaking is
drugs?
there's going to be some form of there's gonna something is gonna get thrown off one way or the other in terms of anything hormonally speaking, right? Like you said,
Yeah, of course. And
inflammation too.
inflammation, your liver, of course, if you're running a bunch of orals.
Yeah.
Your lipids are likely as a result of the AIs. If you're, a man running AIs, or well, potentially a woman if you're in a category like figure or above, or even potentially wellness if you're at a high enough level. Um, uh, I mean, kidneys potentially, but your thyroid is like going to be critical as well because that could be
And
impacted from heavily
and
diet.
everything Matt's talking about is also why it's so important to give your coach time before you start a contest prep to make sure you're actually going into it healthy because prep is obviously the heart. I hate to use the word harsh, but like just there's just not really a better term, I guess. It's the most aggressive we could call it. You're going to be in your competitive bodybuilding journey, right? More than the off season and improvement time and downtime, right? So going into that, making sure you're at peak health in terms of where your markers are, your blood pressure, glucose, all this stuff is so important because things are going to be skewed and get thrown off naturally by the process of getting this lean. So, um, it's all good points.
Good
Damn, what
question.
the fuck? I see raspberry crumb cake. Where is mine, Sam?
Remember she made it, or maybe it was blueberry that you have in your house.
Yeah, I remember.
So she'll make a raspberry version of that.
Raspberry pineapple's good too.
I don't think she would like pineapple gum cake. So I
No.
don't think she's a big pineapple gal.
What about banana crumb cake?
Banana, is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm sure if we Google it, it is banana crumb cake.
Someone have probably made it. No, I want like a coffee cake.
It is. Oh, coffee cake. That sounds good. Sounds fucking good. All right, what else we got?
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I
So,
gotta create a presentation for this. I'm mentoring somebody uh and teaching them about blood work, so it might be something we can utilize.
oh yeah. Um. Okay. So, what have you guys found separates clients who thrive in contest prep versus those who don't?
Well, prerequisite is they listen, of course.
Yeah,
Two, they're not taking advice from everybody from the fucking gym.
that's a really good one.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
really good one.
yeah. Three is the ones that love it, right? The ones that are doing it for the right reasons, because those are the ones that typically don't falter when things get hard. And sometimes they do. Don't get me wrong. Like there might be times in prep where life is beating you the fuck up and you're dying on top of it, where you're like, "Fuck this! Why am I even doing this shit? I'm miserable to begin with." But the ones that typically love it will push through those really hard moments. That's all I got.
Yeah, yeah, no, you kind of from the coaching side, you kind of can tell. I would say too, based off like the competitors that like you or I are, and like you know, you could kind of tell what traits are there when you start to kind of go through a prep with somebody like that. This person's top notch, or this they're going to be good, or like this. Okay, I don't know if they're going to make it to the show, right? Like you can kind of start to piece that together, especially around like 8 weeks out,
Oh yeah, for sure.
for sure. So, um, Yeah, and what Joy said, just listen to your coach. Just fucking listen. Um,
Okay.
so I got two more, two more. Well, I got three more, but one's, in my opinion, okay, but the other two are pretty good. All right, so the next one I have was, what trends in current day bodybuilding coaching concern you the most?
Fuck, that's a good question.
Very good question.
Um, we gotta think about that for a moment.
You as well, Adam. Have a good night, man. So I would say the biggest thing is the drug usage.
And so, like,
And
what and what? Anything specifically,
so
or
like
just the
there's
dosages?
yeah, it's just like the dosages is one. It's how young fucking these kids are nowadays. Like the trend of starting PDs at 16, 17 years old because TikTok and social media pushes that, and somebody sees one fucking influencer with 500,000 followers to it and they have to follow. And the trend of just not instilling hard fucking work and the fundamentals of what real bodybuilding is. I think that's the biggest trend that kind of just like concerns me the most. Instead of knowing what it is to actually go into the gym and train your fucking balls off, what real training is, intensity, prioritizing recovery, and being consistent with nutrition. The trend of just starting drugs before all this is fundamentally the basics are fundamentally instilled is probably the biggest concern I see.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. And I would say now that I've had some time to think about it, the biggest trend that I've seen, like I started thinking of plans of previous coaches, clients of mine that have come from previous coaches, and just hearing or them even sending the programs. Just the trend is digging people into the fucking dirt just to get them in shape, and oftentimes it doesn't even work. And what I mean is 2 hours of cardio. I've seen 1 hour of hit, 1 hour of low intensity.
One
For
hour
a
a hit.
oh, dude, yeah, you know the
Fuck.
culprit. You know
Oh,
the
I
culprit.
sure do, but holy
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
Holy
So,
damn.
on multiple plans, I've seen that.
Wow.
And just absolutely no food at all. Like literally no food on like big fucking guys, women. Like it's just a really common thing with coaches dating people in the dirt because they don't know what else to do.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and that's just again to another
Just
trend.
realistically, if you have somebody who has enough muscle and you just dig them into the fucking dirt, they're gonna get fucking lean.
Yeah.
Um, it's just not the right way to do it. These are the people that show up looking flat and the same every year.
That leads me to the next trend of everybody's a fucking coach. Like, am I wrong though? That seems to be the trend the last three. People are doing one fucking show, not in shape, and it's like they have a whole coaching page the next fucking week trying to teach people how to train and diet and all this. Like, what are you doing? Like,
That's
it's
crazy.
irresponsibility.
Hmm.
It's like, what are you really doing this for? To really help people or just to make money? You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
that's that is so obviously what it is. Because like
it's
if you don't have a good understanding, because you know what everybody does is they just literally do exactly what their coach did. That's it.
yeah,
And they think that that makes them a coach, but it like I mean we've seen instances where coaches copy and pasted a male's drug protocol on a female, right? Like we've
yeah,
seen shit you wouldn't ever believe. But
yeah,
the problem with that is like if you're telling somebody to take a compound, you don't know what that could potentially impact or what the side effects are. You are seriously fucking playing with fire, and you should be like ashamed of yourself.
yeah, man. Oh, Jason, he asked about self coach. I mean, I don't.
Jason, you dropping Steve? You're gonna self coach?
I don't know if that's like a trend that concerns me the most, Jason. I think that what I think that more so is, and again, just my opinion, is that people think they know it all nowadays because they watch like fucking four podcasts and read about peptides on Chat GPT.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. You know what I mean? Because all great coaches have coached. And like I break it down like this. Phil Heath had a fucking coach his entire career, right? He could probably have prepped himself and still won the Olympia 7 times. Like, let's be honest here with how fucking good you know what I mean? With how fucking good that guy was. But the bottom line is like, he didn't because he realized that even the greats need that second eye and you know to be coached, right? So I don't necessarily know that's a trend that concerns me, Jason. I just think that we're in a society nowadays where there's so much free information and there's so much right information that just like so many people just think they know everything.
Sam's going
Samson,
on about.
maybe Phil. I know Phil met Hani when he right before he did USA's, so he's been with
Was
he was with
was
Hani, I
is
think.
CC of Deca?
Yeah, Mister. Yeah, which I believe too.
Oh, me too, for
Which
sure.
I believe. He said he was like on 300 tests to CC a Deca and like just won the show. Um, but I know
But going
Hani.
back to the self,
Yeah, go
going
ahead.
back to the self coaching thing, the net of it is nobody at the highest level self coaches at all.
Yeah. So
There's one
with
person
Sam,
I know of
right?
is John Jewett. He self coaches and he places very well. I think he's the only guy I know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like to Sam's point, like Phil, I think in the beginning, self-coaching, right? I think it's just because he didn't know any better. You know what I mean? And like he was genetically so good. Like who at USA's was gonna touch that guy, even if he was eating McDonald's every fucking day, right? So, but like I think he met Hani right when he turned pro or before, and then I think that's the rest is history. Who the fuck's wife is? Who are we talking about?
His
Jackie
wife is
said,
a smoke show. She must be talking about me.
"Who? Who? I'm so confused. I'm so lost." So Sam, he coached himself in the beginning. I'm assuming, like when he did his first couple shows, and then he met Hani, and I think the when he started doing the Arnolds, and he never won an Arnold, did he, Phil Heath? Oh, oh, John
uh,
Jones.
I don't think so, actually.
Yeah, no. Oh, John Jewett's wife, she said. Yeah, she is a crazy wellness competitor.
Um, I self coach my first show.
Did you?
Started. Yeah, it was just basically dieting in an hour of cardio for 16 weeks, and I had one cheat meal. I didn't peak. I just went right in.
I don't even think Jason's in here anymore. He just asked the question and ran away.
It just bounced in peace.
Oh no, he's in here. Jason's in here.
What else you got?
So, Jason, were you? I'm just more so curious. To rhetorical question back to him. If he was asking that, as in, is that a trend he is seeing, or a trend that we think is a concern? I didn't know. Um. So I asked the trend question. Trend. um. Where? This is a pretty good question too. Where do you think physiques will be in the next decade, given where they are at now and from what you see from a decade ago?
Well, I think we're seeing a trend that they're going for the more aesthetic guys, and I think, and I'm talking open, right? I think we're going to continue to see that. I don't think they're going to be rewarding the fridge builds anymore.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I saw somebody make a really interesting, like completely out of the blue prediction, and it was John Effer, and he predicted in 2030 that Justin Batterino would be the Open Olympia winner.
Holy shit. That's
Yeah, it's
good.
just so random, but it's like honestly, man, it's like with his structure. And could you imagine his waist and his like X frame
Yeah.
at like 265, 270? That would be fucking retarded, dude.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It'd be crazy. What did he say? What year? 20 what? 2030 what?
2030.
So in 4 years, essentially.
It was something like I don't
That's
know, or
crazy.
something
Yeah,
like that.
that's yeah. Um, all right. And the last one I got was what lessons have you learned throughout your life thus far that have changed you as a human and a coach?
Jesus Christ, dude, put this fucking question
It was
in.
the same person who actually asked the one like 2 questions ago I fucking asked.
Life lessons.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's fucking hard, man.
A female asked this question if you couldn't tell.
Fuck, no, I
Very
missed it.
in-depth questions. I always know if it's a female or a male. The male questions are so to the point just about drugs.
Yeah, I would say if I were to sum it all up from humble beginnings to a pretty successful life here into my early 30s, that whether you believe you can or can't, you're correct.
It's very simple. Yeah, yeah, it's a good point. Um, is that for life and coaching?
I mean, I guess so because I mean, I have no doubt with any of my athletes,
That's
so I
true.
believe.
That's true. That's a good question. Um, it's a shame I had all day to think about
Sure.
it. um, so I think I think with coaching, I would say always follow your instinctual like first guess because it's very rarely been wrong, I would say. Which is I think is a really good lesson as a coach that
As long as you're a good coach and you've had good outcomes thus far.
right, right,
If
right,
not, if not, you might want to second guess
right,
yourself.
right. And yeah. And I think for life, I mean, I don't know if I could sum it into one just because of how much fucking shit I want to say. I think, listen, it could always be worse, right? So I'm not saying anything along those lines, but just kind of like the downs I've had to deal with and whatnot at different times. I would probably say that the mind is truly your best friend. It can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And I would say that's a pretty good lesson that I've learned in any aspect or situation, right? And that kind of almost ties into what you said, whether you believe you can or can't, you're more than likely probably right, right? So um how you view I want to say situations really can determine the outcome and also determine your mindset going through it, whether like I said, when we lost the house, like fucking 15 months of absolute miserable hell. Um, but kind of just got to keep waking up every day and put one foot in front of the other. So, how you view situations mentally, I think really is a huge thing I've had to learn over the last, I want to say 10 years, even more so the last 6, big time. So
Yeah,
the growing up I've had to do from 26 to now 32 as opposed to say 20 to 18 to 25, 26 is vastly different. You know what I mean? So um
hmm
but you know what I mean? Um so yeah, I'd say that's probably it.
yeah. Last one for me because you kind of going on about the past made me think of like the question, "Oh, what advice would you give your past self?" type thing. And I would say capitalize on what you're good at. That's one thing because I really wish I wouldn't have stepped away from bodybuilding for 9 years because I firmly believe with the talent I have both as an athlete and as a coach that I'd be at the top right now. Not like I'm not saying I'd be Mr. Olympia, but I'd be like very high level in the sport,
Mhm.
and obviously would have had a lot more coaching success over 9 years than three.
Yeah, I think another another lesson too is just like you don't know unless you take a risk, right? So like
Yeah,
for me, if 5 years ago I wasn't like, you know what, I'm enjoying coaching individuals, I'm getting a bit better at it, I have some good mentors around me, like let me take that risk because what am I gonna do? Sit here and fucking make 40, 50 grand a year and just continue to be fucking broke? You know what I mean? I'm like, if I didn't take the risk, I don't know that I'd be in the like the blessed position I am today, at least successfully being a coach. And I
yeah,
guess
bro.
that's I guess
I'm in the thick of that life lesson right now. I'm making a career move literally next quarter.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But
So I
I'm
think
I got no doubt I'm fucking taking the risk, dude. I'm fucking so I mean I'm there already. So
yeah, you're more confident in that than I was when I did it. You know what I mean?
well, you're also a younger man at that point. There's a lot of confidence and
Yeah,
self confidence and just bravery that you build as a man, especially once you have kids.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I was having a discussion with somebody last week or a couple weeks ago, maybe, It was right before thing. I don't know. Me and you always talk about how fast time goes for us at this point, and where like how busy we both are, and like sometimes I just lose. Obviously, we always lose track of time, but I think it might have been right before Thanksgiving, and they were asking me. We were talking about kind of like the lessons and like all the shit you and I have been through, like you know, in like your life and my life collectively, and this individual obviously knows about shit me and you have been through, and I think you know who I'm talking about. Me and Matt were talking, me and Feldman were talking about it, and like he was saying, just like he's like, he's like, I'm older than you guys, but he's like, I feel like I got a little bit of later start in life, obviously based off of his past situations and such like that. And he's like, he told me, he's like, I just look up to you guys because like I can see where I can be, obviously, if like you just keep working hard. And I think that goes to show like your past does not determine where you want to be.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Hard shit only lasts for so long, but if you keep going one day at a time, eventually you get out of the shitstorm. And there's a lot to be learned, I think, from when shit's bad,
Pain,
right?
suffering. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
man. I mean,
It's an important part of life.
when you look back, right? Like, did you did you ever learn a lot of good life lessons that have made you the man you are today when shit was really good?
I mean, honestly, yeah. It's like I
Yeah,
think back to the years like when life was easy was probably once I it was challenging in the sense that I had just jumped into the software space, not knowing shit about software.
right,
But like the years that were good is like once I was good at it, didn't have kids, and we're just like fucking rolling in it, honestly, because I was selling fucking everything. Life was pretty easy. I mean, I had to travel a lot. Like, I mean, I learned a lot just given the situations I was in
right.
at
And
work,
and and now you think to like
But the things that have made me who I am, like the grit, the fucking all
that.
those
That's what I mean.
masculine, things that made me really who I am were definitely built through the suffering for sure.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, but do you feel like you probably learned more about yourself and become the man you are today through the fucking tough shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. After this year, I know I could fucking do anything. That's how my mind is.
Amen, dude. Amen. I know Scott just said amen too. Yeah, I mean, I think for me a big turning point was when we lost the house and we were broke. You know what I mean? Like, and you know this obviously, but like Nina paying our bills and on the first of the month, and we like are almost $200 negative for 2 weeks. And the mortgage company pretty much being like, hey, like you have 9 days to pay your mortgage, and we're like, we can't pay it till the 15th, and us literally just being broke. And that's when I was like, you know what, I either have to get really good at coaching, and there's no other option. You know what I mean? Like you can't go backward because sitting in a school and fucking working ain't gonna cut it. So if you want to be a man of a household and have a wife and kids eventually here in the next few years, like you either got to shit or get off the pot type thing. So I think without those type of things, like, am I who I am today? You know what I mean?
Yep, yep, agreed.
So it was a good question.
Definitely. Lucky I wasn't expecting that.
No, I mean,